excited. I am in high spirits. I think part of it is from yesterday's match between Ghana and Guinea-Bissau. So the boys have made me proud and I'm happy. I'm repping green. I mean, I can't rep all the colors, but I am in green, one of the colors for the Ghana flags. And today the story we'll be discussing will be another clash of the Titans. It will probably be between the boys and then the girls. So you guys should be expecting an amazing show. Remember that this is Real Talk, and you can also send in your real life story right here on Hope Channel every Wednesday at 8 p.m. You can do so by the email address and the WhatsApp number you see on your screen right now. Real Talk is a show by real people for real people, discussed by real people. So before I go into the story, I want to introduce my guests to you. Today's panelists, they are very outspoken, very opinionated. They know what they are talking about. They know everything. So please be expecting a great show. The first person I'll introduce to you is Holman, Kofi Holman, and the second person is Adobia, who is obviously not a stranger to this studio. You guys, I'm sure, know her by now. And then the last, but definitely not least, is Richard. Obviously, another familiar face in the studio. And it seems anytime Richard is here, Adobia finds herself here. I don't know what is going on. I don't know how you guys decide to come on the show at the same time, but then you guys do. So you guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How has your week been so far? Are you guys in high spirits from the match like myself? Did you even watch at all?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Richard, did you watch?
Yeah, I watched it, but you know, I really did. Okay, no, I shouldn't go there because
You started already. The show hasn't even started.
No, until Ghana takes the trophy. Well, there's still the chance for them to disappoint.
Well, but then yesterday's one was a good one, so.
Well, you could say.
Yeah, so you should be excited and all smiles, like myself. I can't contain myself, I don't know why. and I'm not even a great fan of football, I do not understand the game. That was a good one.
It was nice.
It was
my
good,
segment
right?
was more maybe in the maths and science quiz.
Because your school is winning.
Okay, you're not going to do that
And she's
here.
in green,
Your school is winning. Like,
But really, has nothing to do with podcasts too. Thank you guys so much for coming
All
to
right.
my show. Another question I want to ask, are you guys dating people in your various churches or they are outside your church? Holman, are you even in a relationship?
Currently, no.
Hey, are you sure?
Yeah.
Some girls are working outside in the house. I don't be. Are you equally yoked or unequally yoked?
I'm super Leo.
Richard,
hi.
I didn't say hello.
Yeah.
Are you equally yoked or unequally yoked?
I'm yoked.
I told you guys, the conversation has started already. We'll take a look at our story, but before we do so, go for a quick commercial break, and then the story will be shown to you. Please don't go anywhere. This is Real Talk. We'll be right back.
Dear Evie, I studied a lady for months, and since I attended the same church with her, I get to see her in church every weekend at least. I then gathered the courage and approached her. I always watch her from afar at church and events. I got to know her as a friend, and then I asked her out on a date. Within 2 weeks of hanging out, I asked that we get to know each other better so we could get married. She asked that I give her some time to think about it, and before a week had passed, she called me to turn me down. She is not the first lady in the church to do so. 6 months back, I met one beautiful lady who accepted my proposal after knowing me for less than a month, though an unbeliever. Recently, I invited her to visit my church by way of introducing our way of worship to her, as she had only read about it. Upon visiting, this lady who turned me down began gossiping to her friends, and eventually mine, about how I disappointed her. Honestly, this sounded strange as I gave opportunities for us to at least work things out because maybe there was something about me she felt I needed to work on. In interacting with a couple of friends, I have realized many young men face this issue as well. Some church leaders close to my family has approached me asking why I chose someone outside my church. My current girlfriend may not choose to become a member, and that's fine with me. Is there anything wrong with someone outside my church? Should I have pushed more or waited longer for the lady on my church? If a non-believer is willing to accept my beliefs, why should this be a problem even if she doesn't become a member?
Welcome back to Real Talk. It has started. So, okay. I'll start. Your initial opinion, your initial comments, your initial thoughts when you read the story. What came to mind? The things that you said to yourself, the us and the O and the who's. I'll start with you, Kofi.
Basically, I think what drew my attention was the issue of the non-believer aspect. The non-believer aspect. It is loosely defined by all of us. When you say, most people think because we're in the same church, we are all, then that's a believer. But the one who is not is a non-believer.
Okay.
Even though I understand that aspect, when it comes to the church also, that aspect also has been considered a little bit more.
Okay.
But the funny part was why the lady was was now telling a different story about what happened about a relationship. That really intrigued me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Adubia, your initial thoughts.
My initial thought was, this girl, you know.
Oh, thank God. I think
I
for the
haven't
first time you're on
I
the same
haven't
side.
And the story hasn't even progressed. She's not on your side.
For the first time.
Usually, you know, we actually do not know what we have until we've lost it. So I'm thinking she's just trying to be a typical girl, not even a woman, a typical girl who now feels that, did I actually lose this? Then, in order to gain attention, you start to say things to defame the other person, which for me I think is a no-no.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate. She thought she could probably get herself being pursued for a very long time, but well, it didn't turn out that way. So
She wanted the chase.
it's to her loss.
Okay. Richard.
Hi. Yeah, so when I read this, I think there are a lot of themes in there. Generally, I think this guy has found a love. There may be issues with it, we don't mind. The past is also something that can be buried. But the lady, I don't know why she's doing that. Ladies think the world revolves. Okay, some ladies think the world revolves around them.
I'm very happy with you.
And for that matter, their choices will continue to hold. All others irrelevant.
Okay.
But I think this is one of it that later realized that the world moves on its own, with or without her.
With or
and
without
she has
her.
to now chase it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Now we realize that she missed an opportunity. Obviously, did she even miss the opportunity? Because she got the opportunity. She accepted the opportunity.
She wasted it. Like,
And then a week down,
Did
she
she
said
accept it?
she did, and then later she said no.
Like the way
that I'll call you back.
They went to the
Give me
field.
some time to think about
Yeah,
it.
they went
I
to the
think it's a
field.
partial no. Most guys will relate.
No, it's not a partial
Oh,
no.
it's
Hey.
not. No, I don't.
Hey, hold on.
Okay.
It's not a partial
No,
no.
like some say like it has to become like a small tension resistance. You have to wait a little bit.
Okay.
Will she accept? Will she not accept?
In
Maybe
a way.
it adds to
The
adds
fun,
to the thing, yeah.
In a way.
And maybe there's some other guy also trying to push him. So you have to now go and settle that one. Yeah, all
You,
those-
you know,
yeah, all those
yes.
things
He
can be there.
understands the game.
But why did she say yes in the first place? To go back and come back and say no, and then
Well,
come back and start
per
saying
what I understood related to the story is that he asked her out on
Yeah,
a date,
A few dates, yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
on a date could mean that they were now going to talk about what the guy wants, his intentions and everything. So I don't think he asked her out. It was at the date that he actually, you know, puts his cards on the table and tells her that this is what I want to do. I want to date you, which would lead into marriage and all of that. And then the girl says that, okay, let me go and think about it. So for me, I don't think she said yes and then comes back to say no, but it was a date, and a date could mean, look, let's sit down and chat and see what can come out of that
of the
date. Yes.
relationship. So basically, she thought about it, came back, and then she said, "Oh, I don't want you, so I don't think we can have a relationship."
Exactly. That was what
But then
happened.
he goes on to date another girl, and you tell people he disappointed you. In this case, you disappointed him.
Yeah, and what the guy wrote to us, he indicated he gave her time to,
2
even
weeks.
if he has to work on some things for the lady. Because I think the guy was into her or something like that and was trying everything possible to let it work. But as we say, it takes two to tango.
Definitely.
The lady did not give the guy the chance. And she lost it. Or let me say, the guy in the first place may think he has lost it.
An opportunity to get
Yeah,
it.
but as Adubia mentioned, you don't value what you have until you lose it. Probably when there is competition, that's why some guys have multiple. But when there is competition, you feel like, wow, I need to fight for this. And he had to go far or do the negatives to let the other person lose it or just to have it. If I don't have it, nobody will have it.
It's interesting you should say this because reading the story, I was wondering if the girl was okay, like mentally, because somebody asked you for a favor. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You came back and said, "I can't help you." He found another person who could do it for him, and then you went around telling friends and his friends that he disappointed me, almost as if to say she was dating the guy. And then the guy decided, oh, I can't do this anymore. Went for another lady, and she was left hanging. Is this happening in our church?
Could it be? Sometimes people have options. And you may be weighing, the ladies may be weighing the options. The guys will keep throwing in the applications, and then the ladies will do the sorting and weighing and see those who qualify for the next. Exactly. So probably he passed the first round through the date. And then the second round, maybe there was a higher candidate or potential person, a higher bidder in that sense. And she was ready to go for him until maybe that one too messed up. So it could be.
But then you don't.
She's okay.
You don't come back. You don't come back and say the one that you left is the one that has wronged you.
I'm trying to understand the lady a bit in the sense that let me just play the devil's advocate here. So maybe after she told him that, okay, I am not interested, maybe, just maybe, he was keeping a conversation between the two of them that made her think that, oh,
it's sustained.
You understand? Yes, because sometimes you know us. We can say no, but would still want to be having like hanging out.
See, the revolving thing.
That's what I'm saying. That I'm just trying to look at the reason why she felt that he had disappointed her. Because what else would make you say that he
then
has?
She should have said maybe. You don't say an outright no and then expect something out of it. You should. That's why we have yes, no, maybe. So
I understand you. I understand
not
you.
just go to the extreme
I get that picture.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I actually want to understand the reason why, and these are the reasons why. She would say that the guy has disappointed her, because, like I said. She said no, but she was expecting that the guy would still be pursuing her.
Yeah. How would you say no and expect that somebody still chases?
Guys that will do every time.
Guys do what?
Yes.
Like when you say no and then they keep...
He's still pushing.
Because they haven't found another person.
No, like for example, like...
How would a girl know?
A friend gave a scenario.
That's why you don't say no, you say maybe so.
No, but
no, because there are even times they say...
You can still have options. When he goes for another girl, I say, oh, but you knew I hadn't made up my mind.
Maybe there was someone there.
Then you have a point. You need to play
Maybe
smart.
she had someone there.
Maybe
she had someone there. Okay. So, in order not to have issues with the other person, okay, let me just say no for the meantime, But then again, it was to her loss.
Yeah, she lost the opportunity. Okay, now let's come to this girl. We'll deal with her and then her issues. But let's look at the guy and his issue of going out. He says it happened twice.
Many times.
Okay, many times in the church.
So now he says, testimonies.
Yes, from other friends.
From others, yeah.
And now he says, okay, maybe this is not working for me. Yeah. Let me widen my
horizon.
Let me move out of my comfort, try and find something out there. He did. He found. He brought the girl to the church once, twice, just for her to see how we worship and all that. And now it looks like things are going on well. But his problem is, this girl does not share the same faith as he does. And so he's looking at marriage between a believer and a non-believer. Okay, so now let's look at that in general. Marriage between a believer and a non-believer. The dynamics. Will it work? Is it realistic? Is there hope for them? I mean, what does he do?
Well,
What is happening?
generally, I think there's a possibility of it working, and it's been done before, so it's possible. But then it is wrought a lot of challenges, which is undeniable. But I think the issue at times comes with, even though he obviously knows that the ladies are not the same faith as her, they might not have the full discussions that needs to be had about how things will play out in the future.
Okay.
And normally that's what in the future begins to bring the problems, about maybe how we handle our kids, about how we handle when we are in very difficult problems. At times, when they are maybe are not Christian, maybe they could still pray and that could help.
Yeah.
But normally, if it's, let's say, a different faith, let's say Muslim or something, okay, you believe I should do this, I believe you should do this, that kind of thing. All those things could bring problems in the future if not handled well.
Okay.
But generally, like I say, life is hard, so you don't try to increase your problems.
Okay.
As much as possible, you try to
Okay.
limit it and consider on the very small, hard problems.
This guy will tell you that going for same faith is what is his problem. Not going for, because of what has happened.
So
in his past.
obviously
Yeah.
he mentioned that he doesn't have a problem with it.
Yes,
I
he
think the
doesn't.
problem is coming from church elders approaching the family,
Yeah.
making cases out of this.
Yeah.
He himself is not bothered.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously he's tasted or he's tried to make it work with Adventist ladies. It's not working. And he's growing,
Yeah.
he has to give the parents and grandchildren and all that, But on the other side, I'm thinking for any relationship, as much as possible, you want to reduce the disparities. And the disparities could be even height. Because people will have issues when the husband is too tall and, as much as possible, reduce it to the barest minimum. If it takes religion to be a cause of breaks in the marriage, you want to, as much as possible, reduce it.
Okay.
This is a lady who is open-minded, I should say, because the guy mentioned she reads about the faith of the guy.
Yeah.
She's ready to visit. You may not be able to predict how it's going to be in the future,
Yeah.
but at least from the little that I know or I've read from this guy's issue, is a lady who is open-minded, ready to give it a try. And if there is a love, I think the love can pull her in some way.
Okay.
But I pray that it will be sustained, because in the early days she can pretend to be ready to give in to every belief that you come up with. But going forward, I think if there are other ingrained thoughts and faith, it will come out. You can't hide it forever. But love is stronger than any of these faith and principles and precepts. You can just let go of what you believe if you love the other person. So if he can really test the love and know that it's genuine, I think unbeliever, believer may not matter.
Okay, so what if the lady says, okay, love, come to my church? I mean,
the guy going to the ladies' church, love.
Yeah, love.
Love. So he goes.
He goes. Okay, Olivia.
I want him to explain what love is.
Wow.
Love is patience.
Is it a trick
It
question?
wasn't for you.
Is it a trick
It wasn't meant for you.
You cannot put
It
my
wasn't
guess
meant
on
Oh, dear, thank you very much for saving me.
Hold your back. Love.
I'm saying that because I'm expecting that he puts himself in that situation to be able to understand what he's talking about. You get it?
Richard, he seems to have
So he was finding it difficult answering that question where
What
you
is
asked
love?
that.
Okay, then let me hear your answer to the question then.
When the table is turned.
I was about to get myself a lawyer, but it's okay. Since he didn't answer, I wouldn't answer.
Yeah.
No, I want
Let's go ahead.
I want your thoughts on believer and non-believer union.
Okay. I cannot agree less with what both of them have spoken about, and this is something that he needs to understand. the disadvantages that comes with it. Because I can say that the disadvantages will be more if he is able to handle the pressure that would come out of it. Then praise be to God, because as he said, as Holman said, this is not the first time that you get people, you know, getting married to other people from different faith and all. So if he's able to handle it, if he can even sit and weigh the yes, that comes out of it, then
love conquers all.
But
for me, I seriously think that he should hold on. Just hold on
for
a
how
bit.
long,
And
Adobia?
no, for forever.
He's building
it's
a CV
better. It's
of-
better to marry right than to.
The foundation is right.
Thank you.
But we do not know if marrying rights
Yeah,
is
it
from
means
the
having the
person
same
in
faith.
the-
So this
man.
is why you need to seek God.
Like the issue is, like
Definitely.
you said, fundamentally, like if you take issues of, let's say, even like happiness in a relationship, if you are in the same faith, the chances of you being a little more happy in the family is higher than not being.
How?
Eh?
How?
No, because the values are very similar. For example, let's say an Adventist and non-Adventist. Yeah. So an Adventist used to Friday out. You Friday, it's your
You want
Sabbath.
to be in church.
You are in church. Saturday, you don't go for the wedding. You don't go for the
Oh,
funeral.
but she will change. She'll be like you
You
eventually.
don't go for this.
Not all of
How
them.
do you think the girl will be pressured in her family about who can know there? He doesn't come here. He doesn't go here. You get, and it might bring pressure on the lady too. And at times when they are kids also, I want my kids to be here. I want them to be here. And most of, like you said, love conquers all. So you will not discuss the religious matters. Then when they confront you, oh, I thought we would do this. You thought we would do what?
You know.
Let me make him understand something. Okay, let me just share a personal experience. You know, the love conquers all that he's talking about. Sometimes it's not real, because I found myself in a relationship with a non-Adventist, which lasted for a very long time, and then at the end of the day, his family is telling me that because I don't share the same faith with their son, they can't actually approve of the marriage.
Of the marriage, yeah.
You know,
That's
of
right.
we being together. So in this case, would you say love? Where was love?
Okay, well, I
You know,
think
so
our
this-
system.
these things, they are realities. We just cannot sideline them and pretend as if it does not exist because of love.
But you know, in Ghana, you can get married without the approval of the
family.
parents.
Yes,
How
but
often?
the kind
You can.
Yeah,
So
you can,
on
but how
that
often?
note, we will go for a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. This is Real Talk. There's more Real Talk after this commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Before we went on the quick break, we were talking about how dating, a believer dating or dating an unbeliever could pose some problems in the relationship and eventually in marriage. And we're also looking at how we can come up with solutions to these problems. So we'll go right back into the discussion with my amazing panelists. So before we went on the break, Richard,
Yeah,
you wanted to say something. I want to hear.
Yeah, looking at realistically, these are real stuff that we are talking about, but for how long will this guy continue to wait and be bounced?
For how
You don't have faith.
For how long?
For
For how long? For eternity?
Yes, if you have to.
Wow.
At times.
It doesn't look real to me.
He can literally say you do not have faith that his relationship now will end up well, and maybe the lady would.
So
end up.
the same faith, exactly,
Yeah.
the same faith the guy is moving with, he has faith that God can convert that soul for him.
Yeah.
The soul for Christ, the body for himself.
Preach, my brother.
But there are a number of ways people get to encounter God. I don't want to preach the bring them in kind of sermon, but could it be that the guy's relationship with the lady will bring the lady in the church? She
Maybe.
stays and then both of them will see themselves
We
in
have
heaven.
instances like that. So
Yeah.
we have
We
instances
do.
where guys went out for ladies
A lot
outside
of them.
from the
We
church,
do.
and then they ended up baptizing, becoming members, and they are now like leading.
So I know
We
a
are
friend
not
who will drive
disputing that
the
fact.
lady to the church and return home. Come and
Yes.
pick her later. There are days that he drives, stays, listen to what is going on. And the guy got converted eventually.
Yeah.
You can
We are
imagine.
not disputing that fact.
Those are equally real as you're also giving the instances.
Yes.
But my question is, why should we bound ourselves to the circle that we think we find ourselves in? There are compromises that have to be made in any relationship. Unfortunately, I may say, against what I've preached earlier, that religious beliefs are things that you don't need to compromise. But if the person is willing to give in and give a try, ready to accept, that's how we go for evangelism and have the faith that people will be converted.
Yeah.
Pray to God, convert this soul just for your son. And I believe that God can listen to you. And because for how long? I'm
For
just
how
asking,
long?
for how long?
Yes. For how long?
Maybe
is
you
Richard's
guys are
question?
lucky you're having some within. But for my friends and...
And
Do you know
yourself.
how we
Hold on, I said I'm you. Adobia would
know
have
where
been
we're
gone by now. If the family had not, Adobia would have been gone by now. But I'm sure you wouldn't have left the church.
No,
Exactly.
No, is it?
because there was an agreement.
And the guy was ready to join you.
And he
Yes.
agreed.
No, he wasn't ready to join,
But
he
he
was
agreed.
ready to do what you just explained. I would come and visit, I'll go and all. But we need to understand that marriage is not between a man
two
and a
of you.
woman. It
Definitely.
involves the family.
It's
So
between a
if,
man and a woman, basically.
Thank you.
but we here in Africa, you understand what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't understand.
Oh, I should understand. It's a
You understand what I'm
trying
trying?
But I don't understand.
Then I'm telling you
Yes,
that it involves the family.
I don't think
It
so,
involves
because
the
even
family.
the law does not make it. It's not, if you decide to marry without your family's consent, you can go ahead. So far as you're 18,
But Adobia, what if
You are
what if-
talking
what
about
if
you are
my
talking about
parents are
the
not
legally-
legal,
legally,
you know,
yes.
legal way of
but
doing
it's
things.
not
But
the way you might-
So what if my
get it.
parents are not
Society
Adventists,
is
but
bound by
I
the
am?
culture more than law.
And then I'm ready to
Great
go
point.
with you, and my family are not. How does the family
That's a
come in
great
here?
point.
if your family have been able to accept the
not
time
all
that
families have accepted
Yeah.
that their
the
children.
time that you
Some are
probably
still
made.
struggling with their family just to stay in the church.
Well, these are like we said, these are real issues out
Yeah,
there.
that happens.
That are yes,
This
they
is
are
real
happening.
talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you know that are happening. So if I'm saying something, I'm not just picking any story from anywhere.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say, because some people, even you get someone saying that if I want to date this girl and my sister or my brother is not really happy with it, I won't go for
Some
it.
people say
Yeah,
that.
some-
Yes.
It's fine.
You get it. So some people are very, very particular about what their family,
Yeah,
the
it's
stand
about-
of their family on
In
who
their
they
relationship.
marry.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the same way some people's family do not care.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the same way, unfortunately, some people's family are not of the same faith as them. And so if the family comes in and says, no, I do not want you to marry this person, oh, you are not even agreeing to my faith. And you come to tell me not to marry the lady I want to marry. Where do I stand? All these are issues that people go through day in, day out. They're trying to... You see, the thing is, this issue is not as black and white as we are saying. There are gray areas.
Yeah.
There are gray areas, and sometimes it's difficult for people to, decide this is what I want to do. The same way we have great marriages between people in the same faith, in the same church.
And terrible
that's the same way we
marriages.
have
You have
terrible
terrible
marriages.
ones.
Exactly.
And that's the same way we have great marriages between people who are not of the
Some
same
are
faith.
suffering
or
in the
of
same faith.
Yes.
Trust me.
Oh,
They
yes.
wished.
Yes.
let's
Some
look at
are.
At times, it's an issue of probabilities, of which one will give you the probable chance
lesser evil.
of success.
Hey,
But you
these
see,
mathematicians
but
are coming in this.
let's look at the obvious challenges that they would face. Like I could give an example where in the Adventist church I would say that if you give birth to a child, now at this very young age, the debate of should I pierce it, yes, should I not, is a problem that they would have to face and discuss. So the obvious challenges that they will obviously face in this relationship. Let's look at some of them. Richard.
The obvious challenge, well, me, luckily, I've had Adventist girlfriends. Okay, Adobia, why? The S could be just one on top.
One on top.
Yeah, the S could just be one. But you know, people appreciate what you do if they know what you are doing, where you are at certain times. So you leave church, you leave home, spend the whole day in church on Sabbath from 6 to 6. And this person who does not know what goes on within the 66 is somewhere thinking, what is that guy doing out there?
Yeah.
And leaving me home and all that, will be calling you, stressing you, when are you coming and all that. An Adventist will appreciate a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
So obviously there are some challenges that if it leads out to be marriage and both will go parallel as they are heading now, it may spring up. But I'm very hopeful that the lady will commit.
Okay.
And that's where my argument is coming from. Even if she does not, as open-minded as she is, she will be ready to entertain a lot of what the guy will be doing. But
Yeah.
as
You are sure about it because she's a woman. You know, we have this thing that
it's
when
easier.
you get married, you have to follow your
Love
But you aren't going to
conquest
follow your
or-
ex.
No, I
Uh-huh.
won't.
We have women like you.
I know now.
Yeah, so we are
I
there.
know.
Yeah, obvious challenges, Kofi.
Kofi is a preacher for same-sex, right? Same
No,
believe marriage.
I'm like say a picture for the things that might work best. You get it? And in this scenario, yes, obviously depend on how the arrangements are, the level of communication that goes on between them, and the level of understanding that can prevail in all these things. The chance of success could be improved. However, if let's say a guy says he's a believer, which is the argument here, he is a believer and the lady is an unbeliever. He's a believer, that means he believes in something. And most of the time, the older we get, the more religious we become. You get it? When we are young, we like to move around a lot. When I get to know, then we want to settle on, these are the parts that I can take. Okay, now, this is how, when I get a problem, let's pray about this. And he says, oh, I don't have time, let's go. Like, that kind of thing. You want to pray calmly, and she says, no, you have to, the kabe and the kaba kind of a thing. Yeah.
What's that?
You get,
The kingdom shall be taken.
and all these things could be small fires down there.
Yeah.
And one day something happens and the blasting
Yeah.
continues. So
Yeah.
all these things could be there, and at times the children also.
Yep.
And even the expression of your faith itself, you always tone it down because of the other person. Like if let's say you are discussing the 10 Commandments and someone will say, hey, if you're broken one, you're broken or you're a sinner, and your wife is there, you say, okay, maybe it could be handled.
That's what love does.
Those are the issues, you get it. And it affect the happiness and the upbringing of the children. And these children, most of the time, they leave their faith when they grow up. All these things are there.
Okay, so now we've seen some challenges, but let's talk about sacrifices.
Compromises.
This is a very interesting
Someone should
one
sacrifice
for
something
you.
at some point.
Okay.
And I guess in this light, the lady is ready to learn more. The story did not talk about the guy trying to learn about the lady.
Yeah.
It asks membership to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. But there are sacrifices that should not be allowed in life. Religious is very key. I may say there are a lot of things that you can compromise, let go of, be silent on, but it goes further from what I just believe to what happens to me even when I die. Yeah, so it's very key that you are sure what you want to go in for and never compromise on certain things. And I would advise, if the lady, unless the lady is not so sure of what she believes in, and that is where she will be ready to turn to the other side. But if the lady is so sure of what she does and what she believes in, she may only pretend. That is it. If she's trying, as Holman mentioned, if she's trying other and then she chances on this and she wants to go further into it, that is it. But if she's born bred in her faith. She is the leader in a lot of some of these stuff, preaching people to people can convert anyway, but
to come up.
Look at how deep she is into that. Otherwise, she's not ready to.
I'll beg to differ, because I mean.
I think like you're reading something in your mind.
I'll beg to differ because I know people who were very born bred in one faith, very instrumental. Like when you come to the church, everybody knows this person is this, and they've converted.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing, is finding the truth. If God is going to make you find the truth, definitely He's going to make you find the truth. And most often, it depends. It's through other people,
like a girlfriend and a boyfriend.
Maybe. You never know. Maybe it's very possible.
This guy is leading someone to heaven, or we are trying to block his
chance. You would know. Angel Gabriel. Let me read some of the messages we have coming in today. We're having a little technical problem with our Facebook. I think things are down. WhatsApp, Facebook, things are down weak, so it's a bit difficult. But then our WhatsApp line is working, so people are sending through their messages. This one is from Kwame. Kwame from Tema. Kwame says, I think and trust that if you have someone who is ready to go all out for you to have a perfect relationship, I think it's best to go her or him who is an unbeliever than go for someone who isn't, because he or she is a believer and isn't ready for you. This is from John. John is sending this, so John says, why should I wait for a woman, a believer, who isn't ready for when I have someone who is an unbeliever and is ready for me?
They don't understand.
But also ready to accept my faith and become a believer. Okay, John, I don't think he didn't confirm if the woman is ready to accept his faith. He was saying, even if she does not accept my faith, I think we should be fine. Sandy from Dansiman. Sandy said, this topic, dear, I can really relate to it, because I did same some months ago, and now I wish I didn't tell him now. Oh, Sandy. What have you done? You don't know where it's going on. So let's go back into the
But the bouncing thing there is too much. I think people just give up and they are looking for options.
Has it happened to you before?
Sadly, no.
Richard?
Sadly, no. I'm almost always sure before I make a move. Almost always.
Okay. And have you bounced guys before?
But I have a lot of friends who have been bounced.
You would have friends, but it will never be you.
It never be.
It's okay. Let's leave the psychology. Definitely.
This one that's...
I'm answering for this, definitely.
This one is like
she's counting in the head. She's lost count.
You've been bouncing boys left, right, center. Hey.
You know, at times it's almost as if, as a mark of a very good lady,
you should be
have
bouncing.
a good record of bouncing. You get it?
Oh my
God.
I'm sure nobody will ask you whether she bounces people.
Because
nobody's asking me.
I'm asking you.
Vito. This is real talk by Evie.
Just 2019. Let's imagine.
What has happened?
The nose. Never. It can't happen.
I have a maybe so. I tell you have to use the maybe so.
It's a very strategic. Not really. You don't say yes, you don't say no. You keep it in the middle.
Let's see what happens.
That is where the voice will start saying that they will take you to Antwerp because you didn't tell them.
You work on me, that's the thing. Yes, Antwerp will never work on me. Okay, now let's look at how does belief affect a relationship or marriage. I mean, we've been talking vastly about this topic, but let's emphasize on how belief affects relationships and then marriages. This one you can answer. You couldn't answer the bouncing, but this one you can answer.
I think it really, really affects relationships, especially negatively. Yes, because in my situation like this, it was a real problem, having to go forth and back, asking yourself, should I actually go in for this? Should I compromise? Should I just, leave? It was a struggle, thinking about how much time you've invested into the relationship, and
But Obia,
I
you knew
can't
from day
let.
one.
I can't let. Please let me finish.
In the beginning was
can't-
love.
Yeah.
I can't let this go and all those kind of things. So for me, I think it really has a negative impact because you put yourself in a situation whereby if care is not taken, you make certain decisions that you'd actually regret for the rest of your life.
Rachel.
Yeah, it's very, very fundamental. I think it's pivotal to a lot of things that you two do. How you spend time, how you even agree on certain things, the things you don't agree on, how you resolve them.
Yeah.
Most of these will run around your beliefs. So I believe that if I'm facing a challenge, I should pray. The person feels like, if I'm stressed, let me go and have fun. And fun is not bad, but what kind of fun? You spend most of your, it's a busy area, it's a busy system. You go to work, and as religious as everyone may be, you want to go to church right after work. You spend the time here and someone is bugging your phone, calling you every second, where are you, where are you, where are you? So disturbing. And on holidays, weekends, out and all that, how will you manage those things? So it will be very stressful if you don't agree on some of these things. You always have a headache trying to resolve how do I make the other person happy. Because Homer made a point, and I think it will be part of my philosophy. The world is already tough. Why make it even tougher?
Tougher for yourself.
So it's very fundamental. I think everyone should give a first and a second thought. No, dear, some
Honey.
Maybe the strategies. Maybe you have to work on the strategies to get women faster. Maybe.
Did you go for the singles retreat this year?
Maybe he's not single.
He has. Oh no, it's not
Please,
for
I'm
only.
single.
He's
Why are
not-
you saying this?
Is he married?
Everybody's watching this.
Is he
I
married?
don't know. Maybe
He's not married.
Are you married?
He's not married.
He said,
Hey, he's showing me. His
Yeah.
he said hooked small.
No,
Woman has some, tricks
think-
on how to make a move.
Please share.
Mama,
That
please, I need
check-
your
No,
notes.
strategies
No, we are
of
not sharing
women.
any. We paid
We are
money
not.
for that, so we are not going to share.
This is real talk.
Yes,
You say it as real
it is. It
No,
is.
like no missing.
No,
People
but
know.
I don't know
It's
what
real.
strategy, because the guy, I think his approach was very perfect.
Well, yeah.
He was interested in the lady, made approach
Yeah.
to be a friend,
Didn't waste her time.
dated,
Yeah.
and then just after some weeks or a month,
They
or
just
so,
told- Yeah, they did.
yeah,
they
about
dated.
2 weeks dating, and then he made his mind
2 weeks.
known to.
Yeah, but that's dating.
No,
Going
I
out to
mean,
meet
in
people.
our system,
They
our
didn't
dating
cut.
is different.
No, but that's the thing. I always say, please, a little. This is a teachable moment.
Yeah,
So
feel free.
dating is when you go out on dates.
Yeah.
So it means you can date a lot of people
Spend
at a
time
time.
together.
Courting is when you have one individual that you're trying to.
So he was ready to graduate the dating to
Exactly.
probably court.
Exactly.
And the lady
And
said,
that's
let
what
me
she
think
said.
about it.
No,
And
no,
then
no, no, not
Bounce.
And
today.
I don't know how else he could have done this.
No, I mean, for a guy, you definitely be bounced once a while.
Yeah.
So
But
you go again,
Again.
and it's almost like his sample size was his church. From the
you
story,
should look
like
at other
his
churches.
church.
Go
The
to
other
other
churches.
districts.
Oh,
Other
if I see you
districts.
in another church, I know
Other churches, just not his church.
No, he didn't.
The lady he picked is a Christian.
I mean, like,
She's not
yeah,
like
maybe.
she's
Yeah,
a
so
Christian
he
who
just went
is
to other church.
not of
Other
his faith.
But
places
woman
he
is
could go.
looking at, if you are looking at the population, there are other strategies you can enter.
Yeah, you know.
So if it is ICGC, you have ICGC Christ Temple,
Yes.
Holy Ghost.
ICGC.
Holy Ghost.
He gives something.
You know,
Could it
so
be
if it's
ICGC, you know?
The way she went there straight now.
What is the worst that could happen?
You know, the worst that could happen.
Yes.
A breakup.
To the guy
Oh, maybe.
and the girl.
There are possibilities.
Okay.
So many possibilities.
It's either it will end in a successful relationship,
yeah.
into marriage, and then a good marriage, I should
Yeah.
say.
But the worst.
Or a breakup now before a marriage or a terrible marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you're a believer, you can't divorce. You must
Yeah,
just
if
stick-
you lock yourself in
unless the lady
and
leaves.
the other person wants to get back to what she believes in, it becomes very terrible.
Yeah.
He should pray about it. I guess, I don't know whether you give us a room to advise, but you should pray that this direction should be clear.
Yeah.
Should he go ahead with it, or he should just let it go?
Yeah. And to be a worst thing that can happen to this relationship. You remember back in school when a teacher asked you a question and you say, he has said my answer. You say, okay, what did he say?
What did he say?
That, you know, the worst that can happen is a breakup. And for me, I would say that Richard is saying that to win. So you get the right person. That's what I think.
Who is a believer, I guess.
Yeah,
So
who
the
is a
right
believer?
person here is somebody of your faith.
Who it necessarily doesn't have to
see,
be like the person in the same church. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because he explained earlier that we have this
If you try the Accra
understanding.
churches and it's not working,
Go
go to Kumasi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get a switch
Make sure the
from work.
person is a believer. Yes.
This is geographical
Yes.
mobilization.
That
And
tells
social
you
mean
how
makes
serious.
it. Social media makes it a really
The whole
easier.
Brian
Social
come home
media.
because
I mean, just to establish contact.
a bad experience.
the lady called her to break up, to say no, not even a face-to-face.
Oh.
Well, maybe my experiences are rather,
that-
I'm being sentimental.
So he should. I think he should take it easy and search well. He would find that right.
Search no more.
The reason.
Yeah, answer. Maybe he's found his answer. You don't know. Coffee.
The worst that could happen, I
Yes.
don't know. Maybe the guy too will leave the church and
That's all.
yeah,
That's all.
because then they'll,
Because
they'll,
now
they'll
pressure.
become with the same face.
Same
Yeah,
faith.
yes.
Cool.
On
You
that
know
side.
how love did to Adam? Adam saw Eve had sinned, but out of
You mean
love.
this?
No, not Eve. Eve. Well, it sounds similar. And out of love, Adam had to join the wife. That's what love does.
To sing together.
Adam, I always say that he was just a foodie. He was just a foodie. He saw the apple, say, hey, I can't. And then he started eating.
so-
But what should he do?
The guy.
And the guy says, search. And
No,
find the
no.
right one.
Search and
It's
search.
either he chooses to go with the lady or not. But if he chooses to go with the lady, then he must have like serious discussions, serious communications about how things will lay out in the future. This is where I go. Okay, where I also go.
But you know, sometimes you have those discussions and then you marry the person and it's a
Yeah, that's
it's
a
a different
pretense.
ball game
Because if
altogether.
especially
Okay,
if
no,
the lady
that
is
is
also struggling to get someone and she thinks, well, I've grabbed this golden
Yes.
treasure. I'll just say yes to everything. But when I enter, I just go and do my thing.
these
yeah,
things.
especially when it's getting close to
it's
like
God, oh.
we're almost getting
You see
to
that
marriage.
thing?
Yes.
I would say yes to everything.
And I think the
and-
other lady
and the
is
funny
now
thing
getting to that level. That's why she
Yeah,
feels pressure.
and the funny thing is,
The one that said no.
if you're like a Christian Adventist, whatever happens in the marriage, you have to stay.
Be ready to stay. I think
un-
that's my mentality
until the-
should
until
be
the lady-
more stuck in people's heads.
Yes,
What do
until
you mean by whatever happens in the marriage?
No,
I'm
if
not
you
advising
lock
anybody to
yourself-
stay
What
in
is-
the marriage that they are beating you and about to kill you. You shouldn't stay. Adultery, the Bible even says you can divorce if you find out.
It's an
that-
option.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
So not whatever happens, you have to stay. You have the option of leaving.
Yes,
If what
it
happens
depends.
no,
is
I'm talking about issues of abuse. So
adultery
let's say
or, like, he's killing
she
you.
agrees. She
But this
agrees.
is
It's
religious
killing you.
adultery.
Which one?
If the lady is doing her stuff.
No.
And I know the
No, that's why that's what Paul says that if the lady
this
if the lady agrees to stay with you, even being an unbeliever, you must be with the lady unless she says I will leave because of A, B, C, blah blah blah. There are issues of abuse where maybe there could be separations and all that. You try to fix it and see if it will work or not. All those things, all those ones there. But anything aside, let's say abuse or like adultery,
So how do we
fornication.
expect all these non-believers to believe in God? Some of these avenues are there. Even God said, Peter said, well, God does not do favoritism.
Yeah, that's
He's ready
right.
to accept everyone. Who am I? to say that this is a
No,
non-believer.
but the
to
same
live
also
like,
who says that what can two work together unless they be agreed.
Hey,
So how do
told you, clash of the titans.
how do you balance the two? You get it, and that's how the Bible is. There's always these verses in the Bible, like the Proverbs. That's very funny for me. The one verse says, if someone is behaving like a foolish towards you, let him know that you can also be foolish. So he stops.
Wow, I've never seen that.
Then the very next verse says that if someone is being foolish to you, don't join him.
I know that
Or
one.
else you also become a fool.
I chose to.
So then which one do you work with?
I
So-
choose not to be a fool.
No,
That's the one.
that's one counsel.
But that's the one I like.
But there are two counsels.
But sometimes you be a sort
Yes.
man who say you are
You get
equally
it.
foolish.
Yes.
I can be like you now.
Yeah.
My idea.
Okay.
It's like a kid
Okay.
hitting you and just
I do be
pinching
asked to say
small. And
something.
Oh, no, just to say that, so in all of this, we should seek God.
Definitely.
We should seek God.
Definitely.
And God will give us the direction to
Yes, seek God and He'll give you the directions. Cassie from Kumasi says, I'm not an SDA, but I was with an SDA gentleman from Accra. He took me to his church once, and when the way the girls watched me the whole time, now I'm even afraid to go back there. I'm ready to converse, and be an Adventist, but I don't know
a
what
soul
to do.
is being lost.
The point is,
We are losing a soul.
What?
Bring them in, my brothers.
No.
Bring them
The point
in.
is-
You should be yourself.
No, but
The point is,
Yeah.
what's the motive behind she wanting to join? Is it because of the guy?
We
or
don't
because-
know.
No, there are
All she
various
said is-
avenues
all
people
she
get
said
to
is-
meet Christ.
all
So
she
no,
said
no,
it
so
when
she
she
shouldn't
came.
allow. She shouldn't allow the kind of looks that people are giving to her to deter her from being
With the
a
way
There are
with
various
the way Auntie is behaving in the story, if you know the look she gave to the girl that came with the guy,
Eh,
And for me, if I want to join you, look at me head to toe. I don't even mind.
Madam,
this one
please
Cassie
mind.
mind.
No. If
Cassie
you look
from
at me, I'll look
Kumasi
at you.
mind. Cassie,
If you look
she
at
minds.
me, I will look at you because it is my salvation.
Yeah, and your eyes are really big, so
No, I will give you that kind of
Yeah,
look that you won't
yeah.
even think of giving me
You are
that
ready
kind of
to
look
fight.
again.
Justin from Kaswa says, "Hi, real talk. This thing does happen to only the guys. So some SDA guys are overprotective of their ladies, even though they are being bounced. I was warned by some SDA guys to stay away from a lady he likes,
Then
while
he
the
likes
lady
him.
clearly doesn't want him. Me, I not even went for her. Now we are about to celebrate our 1 year together. You
oh, that's good.
He was determined.
Justin.
He was
Justin.
determined.
Be like Justin.
Ah, he was
Yeah.
determined.
No, I mean
like that.
That's a lady. That's a guy, right?
Yeah, the guy.
No, yeah, that's a guy.
Guys.
Yeah, Justin.
But
Yeah.
like lady, Charlie.
Hey, we have some determined ladies, so
Yes.
don't play with us.
Hey,
Cindy from 37. Cindy says some of our SDA guys don't know how to treat ladies. So me, dear, I'm not really into them.
Madam, read and come off for.
It's
And
true.
this is a
It's
different
just for this one. I
conversation.
don't have. Oh, what is this?
We start.
This is not to
They
treat
are
them.
trying.
Nice
Who start?
guy.
What does she expect?
Cindy, don't mind them. You've said what you said.
It's in the experience.
How
is,
does she want to be
different.
treated?
This one says, oh, as like a queen. This one says, oh, SDA girls. Give us some of the chance. Why?
This is-
Give us a chance. Yo, I don't be a give people like me.
They should
Maybe-
come.
maybe just give your number to this guy.
We have a
Charlie.
WhatsApp. Just one right here.
The guy spots some apple.
Yes. He wants to pick flowers in our courtyard. Allow him. Thank you guys so much for coming. Do you know
Alright.
we've ended?
But some guys too are picking our people up. Are we?
We can't talk again. No. My
Sadly.
producer says I should close.
Okay.
So I have to close. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
You guys have been amazing.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yes, the clash was there, but still.
Today I was very
prevailed.
calm.
Were you?
The beer is always
I
calm.
might not know the definition for calm anyway. But this is calm, and I don't know what calm is. So. Thank you so much, Kofi Adebia and Richard. You guys have been amazing.
That was a nice
so
moment.
I don't know what to say to you, but all I can say is
is
pray.
up.
Pray until something happens.
Yes.
If this is the lady God has planned for you, you will see it. You will see all the signs. And if she's not, you will see it. All the signs. Keep praying. And the lady going about saying things that are not true. You're not being godly at all, and even biblical. Like, why would you do that? Stop gossiping. Stop saying things that aren't true. You got your opportunity. Unfortunately, you lost it. This means that when another guy comes and you want to be with him, you tell him, oh, yes, or maybe so. like I've been saying throughout the episode. So please, pray. I can't stress that enough. Go on your knees, pray, and ask your lady to pray as well, since she's a Christian, just not of the same faith. If this is for you guys, go work out. No stress, cry. So please do that, and then I'm sure everything will be fine. It's been another amazing episode. I had great panelists. I told you they can talk, and I'm still very excited because Ghana won yesterday 2-0. And we have another one on Monday, Ghana versus Tunisia, right? I'm praying, just like you. I advise you to pray, so I'll be praying. I want Ghana to bring the cup home. AFCON. I don't know what it means, but then just bring the cup home, and I'm sure we'll be having a lot of fun. I have a jersey. Do you have yours? Maybe you should get one. I have mine. Mine is number. Your jersey today. I wore it yesterday. I forgot. I'll wear it next week, even though it will be on Monday. If they lose, I'll wear it. But then anyway, this is Real Talk. It's been amazing. Please stay tuned for the next episode, which is next week Wednesday. Another amazing story coming your way. We do this every Wednesday here at Hope Channel. Please stay with us. Make sure you tune in, and we'll bring you amazing stories just like this one, and amazing panelists just like these guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, my producers. Thank you, my directors. Thank you, my studio guys, my cameramen. You guys are amazing. The fufu that I promised is coming, okay? Thank you. See you same time next week. Bye.